Hi, everybody, and welcome to Proline Daily, the longest-running sports handicapping show in America, coming to you direct from Las Vegas. Jim Feist is here. I'm Dave Cokin. We've got a Game 5 in the NBA playoffs tonight, and well, not a full schedule, but what I think is an attractive schedule in baseball. Jim, 14-4-1 with your high-end inner circle baseball plays, and 111-71 as we head to the NBA finish line.
Yeah, and we're down to it, Dave. Game 5, I mean, it could end tonight. Or did the, we're going to talk about it a little bit in a minute, but did the Cleveland Cavaliers create a doubt in the Warriors' mind that this is deja vu all over again, like last year? So we'll talk about that a little bit more. I have a big blowout game of the year. Well, I had one on Saturday with the Yankees. Now listen to this score, 16-3 winner. When I give out these plays, they are winners. $49. I got an inner circle today, $49 at jimfeist.com. And when you purchase the play, make sure you use the coupon by typing in Jim50 and get a 50% discount off that play. I've been red hot, $49. You're not even paying $49. You're paying half of that to get today's inner circle. JimFeist.com.
Jim, I got my game of the month tonight, and this is what I consider an unusual play because over the course of it's not like football where, we can look at games and find spots where we think there's going to be an emotional or motivational edge. It's only one game a week. College football, they only play 13 games, 12, 13 games if they make a bowl. NFL is obviously just 16 games. So you can find spots like that. And in basketball, particularly college basketball, there are spots like that. In baseball, the emotional stuff really doesn't come into play very much. When it does, I think you've got to run with it in a big way because they're unusually strong plays. So I've got one tonight. It's my game of the month. It's $40 at jimfeist.com. But you can, and this is really good, you can get this for half price by using the promo code DAVE50. That's DAVE50. So take advantage of this one. I think it's a really, really good spot. The sharp guys are all over it. I got all over it quickly and got it out to my clients at a good price. It's still definitely worthwhile. So here we go. NBA Finals, the Warriors back home. Good-sized favorites, obviously. 8.5, 9. It looks like it's settled at 8.5. The total on the game is now at 231 or 230.5. Obviously, it's been a very high-scoring series. Jim, I can tell you, I don't actually have a play on the game, but I do have a play on the game because this was a no-brainer. I have the Warriors to win in exactly 5 games at plus 250. So obviously I want Golden State to win the game tonight, but in this situation, there's just no doubt what to do here. I'm not big on hedging as a rule, but when you're just stupid not to, you have to do it. So I took the Cavaliers plus the points tonight. If the Cavaliers win the game straight up, then I'm dead even. It'll cancel out my Warriors in 5 bet. If Golden State wins the game and covers, I'll win the 250 and I'll blow back a unit on the Cavaliers. That's still a plus 150. And if the Warriors win, but the Cavs stay inside the number, that's a cleanup. That's plus 3.5 units. To me, there was no hesitation whatsoever what to do. When the line hit 9, I just took it, and I'm just going to sit back and watch. Other than that, I don't have anything on this game. I don't know, to tell you the truth. I mean, Golden State's the better team, but Cleveland's got life, and the pressure's on the Warriors here.
Well, Dave, first of all, it was a perfect play on your part. You're in perfect position, and you have a fantastic middle situation and side situation because you got plus 250, and you can't lose any more than that with any single bet. So it's really a perfect situation. You did the right thing for sure. As far as the game is concerned, I never felt that it was going to be a 4 or 5 game series. I felt that the Cavs had enough weapons could stay with this team for a period of time. I did not feel that the Cavs would win the series. I felt that the overwhelming talent is on the Warriors, and they did have home court advantage. Now, when you look back at look at the first two games, there were total wipeouts by the Warriors on their home floor. Game 3 was a heck of a game, and the Cavs, in my opinion, should have won that game. They blew it. The last 2 minutes, they choked. Did a lot of wrong things. I'm not a big Tyronn Lue fan. I don't think he's that great a coach at this level. I think they made some really stupid mistakes. But in any case, the Warriors are tough, and they came back, won that game. After that, it's hard to say what would have happened in Game 4 had the Cavs won Game 3.
That's right.
I doubt that the Warriors would have come out as lackadaisical as they did come out in Game 4 had they lost that game. Game 3, I mean. So I think you have to kind of not read too much into that. What the Cavs did in Game 4 was absolutely remarkable. They set all kinds of records. The scoring has been incredible. Defense doesn't exist. And the way the NBA is today is far different than it was years ago. So when they talk about who the better players are and who the better teams are, you're talking about generational differences, but you're also talking about rule change differences. You're going back to pre-3-point shooting, and you're talking about physical play. And today, I mean, if you had when I played basketball, of course, I didn't play basketball at this kind of level, but anyway, the rules were the simple. You couldn't carry the ball. You couldn't walk. You get a step and a half. You don't get 4 like they do in the pros. A lot of things are really lackadaisical rule-wise, officiating-wise. But when you have a layup from 2 feet and you toss it out to the guy 30 feet away to shoot a 3, that's not good basketball, in my opinion. And it basically becomes a 3-point shooting contest. So the better team, I mean, the last game, I think we had 24, 25 3-point shots made by the Cavaliers, which was either tied the record or made the record. And that's a different kind of game. And if you get a team that's off for a while and doesn't hit those threes, then you get these tremendous upsets, or not upsets, but blowouts, one way or the other. So right now, and you said it in the opening, did the Cavaliers create some doubt in the Warriors? So they were up 3-1 last year and blew it, and the Cavs won it. Now are the Golden State Warriors sitting there saying, this is deja vu all over again? Are we going to see this same thing? Can we stop them from hitting those threes? I mean, they got Darren Williams and Corver and Smith contributed a lot in that last game. And if the Cavaliers get that kind of bench help to go along with Love, Kyrie Irving, and LeBron, they're going to be very tough. So the question is, will the bench show up? Will those role players show up? Because if they do, you might see another upset.
Well, I don't see it. From a straight-up standpoint, if I could have Golden State at pick, I might be more than willing to bet a lot of money on that. They had a bad game. They didn't play any defense. Prior to that, they've won 29 of their last 30 games. This team's, they're a monster. I can't compare eras because of what you just said. It's a completely different basketball game. They don't really run offense now, and that's, I'm sorry, and I'm not going to go off on a long rant, but in terms of team play, the 3-point shot was a terrible idea, and for me, it ruined the game of basketball because all it is now is dunk or shoot threes. And unfortunately, with the way point scoring is configured, that's the way you should play the game. I'm not, people who are critical of today's NBA players say, well, they don't know how to run offense. Well, they're not supposed to know how to run offense because that is the offense. had the three-point shot been in existence from the start of time in basketball, you never would have seen teams run offense like the Celtics and Lakers did back in the 80s or before, before the three-point shot really became popular. It was in existence then, but it hadn't been exploited. But once coaches figured out that from a math standpoint, it makes more sense to shoot a lot of threes than it does to ever shoot a 15-foot jump shot. I mean, honestly, from a math standpoint, I don't care if it's open or not. A 15-foot jumper is actually not a very good shot. It doesn't make any sense. You're better off shooting threes. If you can knock those down, you shoot 33% from threes, it's like 50% on twos. It's that simple. So I can't compare eras, but I can tell you this. Golden State's been the best team in the league for 3 years running. They won it 2 years ago. You'll never convince me otherwise. They would have won it last year if they hadn't worn themselves out going for the record in the regular season, and Draymond Green got suspended in the championship series when it was 3-1. And they've been the much better team in this series, in my opinion. So I think Golden State wraps it up tonight. And my gut feeling is they're going to blow them out, but I'm going to hope that's not the case because I want to win both bets. But I think the Warriors are the superior team. And back on their home court, I really don't anticipate them having much problems. I think Cleveland's going to give them a run early. But if Cleveland falls behind this game, it could get ugly in the second half.
Well, I can't disagree with anything you said. And obviously, you're on the superior team, superior record, been the best team for 3 straight years, no question about it. But crazy things happen in sports.
Oh yeah, yep.
And I'm not betting on the Cavaliers to win this game. I mean, I definitely favor taking 9. And I'll tell you what, I will give you this as a play. I guess I just did give out a play, but the first quarter, I think there's going to be an awful lot of points in the first quarter, and I think the total on the first quarter is 61. I'm going to suggest everybody play over 61 in that first quarter. There's been no defense. These guys don't know how to play defense. It's a passing thought, basically. They know they can outscore you, and they're not going to mess around. They're not going to slow it down. And the only thing that I've seen in defensively is when Cleveland starts to play physical. That bothered the Warriors last year, and it did bother them in Game 4, and a little bit in Game 3 too. But that physical play, if it continues and if the refs let them play, you never know that, that could make a difference. I'm not so sure that any team is 9 points better than the defending champion on a day when it's an elimination game. LeBron James, in my opinion, is the best player in the world right now. I'll give Durant all the credit in the world for what he does and how he plays, but he can't do everything that James does. And there's nobody in the world that can stop Kyrie Irving going to the hoop. I've never seen anything like it, the way he does it. So if those guys are playing to their max ability, and it is an elimination game, so I expect that. I expect this to be a war. The only problem is the Warriors have more great players than the Cavs do, and they have a much better secondary group with Livingston and guys like that. So, you're right. They are the best.
One other thing, Jim. It does matter. The Warriors have lost 5 home games all year. The Cavaliers are just barely over 500 on the road. I think that does matter.
Well, it does, Dave. Here's the problem I have with this, and we have agreed with this before. The regular season, and we're agreeing to disagree, actually, but we're actually agreeing also. The regular season in the NBA is nothing but preseason football in August.
Yep.
So I don't put any weight on that whatsoever. We knew who the 2 teams were going to be in the playoffs. We knew who the 2 teams were going to be in the championship game. We knew this all year long, barring major injuries. Those two teams were going to be here, and heck, they're here.
Yep.
So the NBA has got an issue. Now, their ratings are high, and they're making money, I guess, but there's other teams in this league that open the season, when they open up in August, November, they absolutely know they have no chance of being there.
Yeah, I know. That's a problem.
That is not good for franchises. It's
No,
not good for
it's not.
fans. It's not good for anything. And then you top it off. Oh, you're down in Memphis or you're down in Orlando, and the Cavs are coming in, the Warriors are coming in. But gee, we don't know if the Stars are even taking the trip. So the NBA has got some issues.
They do.
And they need to solve them, or
well, I can solve them for them very quickly in one way. You want to make sure there's interest at all times, even if you know what's going to happen beforehand. Make sure there's legalized wagering in the games. Look, the NFL, you can take, and we're going to get into a baseball game, but I'll make this quick. You can take right now 20 teams for the 2017 NFL season, and they have no chance to get to the Super Bowl. More than half the league, they have no chance at all to get to the Super Bowl. But they're in every game because of point spreads and the enormous volume in terms of the number of people who bet on football in some fashion. It might only be fantasy football, but that's still betting. And that's why the NFL gets such big numbers, because every game has meaning. Every game. You can take the New York Jets. Right now, the Jets are going to be god-awful this year. You can take the Jets and Bears and make them play each other for all 17 weeks at the NFL season. And people will still watch because they're going to be involved from a fantasy and a wagering standpoint. NBA betting volume isn't like that, okay? It's not a situation where everybody gets in front of the TV on Sundays and watches all the games and they've got their stuff out there and they want to see what. That doesn't happen in the NBA. So to me, it's way more sensible from a dollar standpoint, from a business standpoint, for the NBA to push to get legalized wagering. Then it doesn't matter who the best teams are, and it doesn't matter if everybody else sucks and has no chance. You'll get people watching every regular season game, and there's no question in my mind I'm right about this.
To the point, if the universe was all equal and everybody was betting on the games, I agree with you. But there are a lot of people, especially kids, that are not betting.
No, that's true.
And they want to go see the superstars that don't get on the plane from Cleveland to go to Oakland. Or Orlando, I should say. And here's another problem with this, and I'm dragging this out a little bit, but when I make a bet at 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning, or even the night before, and I'm betting on the Cavs going to Orlando, and then I find out in the morning that 3 of the guys didn't even get on the plane, and their names are Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, and LeBron James, and now what the hell did I bet on? So until they solve that problem, wagering on the NBA is nothing more than a crap game.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't do much in the regular season. But anyway, good discussion. Let's talk about the monster. Murderer's Row is back. The Yankees, holy cow. I mean, they are just smashing the baseball. And they go out to Anaheim tonight to face the Angels, who, boy, Mike Scioscia deserves a lot of credit here. This team's playing 500 ball, and I don't know how, because their pitching staff got pretty much ripped to shreds with injuries again. And they've plugged guys in, rookies, former relief pitchers. J.C. Ramirez comes to mind. And they've been good at home, and they're 500 overall. And I think Mike Scioscia deserves a big tip of the cap for finding ways to win games. The Yankees, meanwhile, they're just ahead of schedule. I mean, they had rebuilt the organization through some very good trades by Brian Cashman last year and had some good prospects on the way, and they still do have good prospects on the way. But the young guys they brought up arrived early. They made a really good pickup in Matt Holliday, who's a huge plus for the clubhouse and has that veteran presence. Didi Gregorius has become a better player than I ever thought he would be. And then you got the monster, Aaron Judge. This guy is absolutely electrifying. the Yankees are getting to the point where I'm either going to play on them, play the over, or leave the game alone. And tonight's a good example of the latter aspect of that. I made the number here minus 115. So and I realize that the Yankees are now at the point where you can forget about getting value on them. It's going to be like last year's Cubs. No such thing as a value play on the Yankees. But there will be spots where I'll go ahead and bite the bullet anyway and play them. I won't here. First game on a West Coast road swing can be tough. The Angels, I think, are overachieving, but the fact is they are overachieving, and they've been good at home. They're playing 600 ball at home. So I think my number is better than the actual number in the game at minus 115, but it doesn't offer me enough in terms of value to get involved. So I'm going to stay out of it, but I'll tell you what, this team is scary right now.
They are scary, Dave, and other than the fact that the one factor that I look at here is the Yankees had to get on a plane and do cross-country trip to get here. I think that's a negative scheduling problem for them. The Angels are sneaky good. They're not, by any stretch of the imagination, as equal in talent to the Yankees, but this is different. This is a situation where the Angels and Tanaka. Anybody can tell me anything good about what Tanaka's been doing? I want to hear it.
That's why I've only got it minus 115. I mean, Tanaka's a gigantic risk right now.
Oh my God, yeah. So I mean, I think if there's any value in the game, it's betting the Angels based on what Tanaka's been pitching.
It's probably about 50. What are we looking at right now? About 130, 130-ish. Yeah, I mean the value is with the Angels, but I just can't get in the Yankees' way right now.
So this is another situation where you have the better team in a worse spot. Having come off a home game, traveling across the country, with the worst pitcher at this point in the season, and based on history this year, you have a home team that's playing decent. They're rested. They're sitting there. They don't have to get on a plane. I think the value is with the Angels. Do I like the Angels over the Yankees normally? Hell no. But this may not be the greatest spot for them.
All right. Okay, you want to get free plays? We've got them every day in a recorded message. 888-294-1970.
And please go to jimfeist.com. I got some great plays there. Big inner circle play tonight, $49. You can get it for half price with Jim50 as the code, the coupon code. And you can get free plays every day just by texting GAME, GAME, to 25827.
And don't forget, game of the month tonight. This is actually, I had a game of the month in April. I never did one in May. So, I don't do one unless I really like it. But I do like this game a lot. It's $40 at jimfeist.com. Use the code Dave50 and it's only $20. And we've already got the free play out there today, Jim, because that over in the first quarter from you, we'll use that as the free play here on the program. So that's it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow with another edition of Proline Daily from Las Vegas.